Chioma had returned to the village, leaving behind wealth, gold, and a loveless marriage. But starting over was not easy. Some villagers welcomed her back, but others whispered behind her back. She left a rich man's house. Foolish girl. What kind of woman walks away from wealth? She thought beauty would bring happiness. Chioma heard their words, but she no longer cared. She had learned her lesson, and no amount of gossip could change that. She spent her days working in the market with her mother, pounding yam, selling palm oil, and fetching water. Her hands, once soft and delicate, became rough from labor. Yet, for the first time, she felt at peace. One evening, as Chioma arranged baskets of vegetables, she noticed Nnadi watching her from across the market. He had already visited her once, acknowledging the change in her. But since then, he had kept his distance. This time, he walked over. "You look different, Chioma," he said. She wiped her hands on her wrapper. "How? You carry yourself with less pride but more strength." Chioma smiled. "Life has a way of humbling us." Nnadi nodded. "And yet, it makes us wiser." There was a pause before he spoke again. "I once asked for your hand in marriage, but I will not ask again unless you choose me, not for regret, but because you truly want this." Chioma looked at him, and for the first time, she did not see just a weaver. She saw a man of integrity. A man who respected her enough to let her choose freely. Her heart swelled with something new. But before she could answer, the sound of galloping horses filled the air. Gasps echoed through the marketplace as Emeka and his men rode into the village. His fine clothes were untouched by dust, his face set in stone. Chioma's heart pounded as he stopped in front of her. "You are my wife," he said coldly. "You belong to me." Chioma held her ground. "I was your wife, but I am not something to be owned." Emeka scoffed, his eyes scanning the villagers who had gathered to watch. "You left wealth for this." He gestured toward the baskets of food, the rough ground beneath her feet. "What do you have here?" Chioma straightened. "I have peace." The villagers murmured. Some nodded in agreement. Others held their breath, waiting to see what Emeka would do next. Then, Emeka turned to Chioma's father. "Return my bride price," he demanded. "She is no longer my wife." A heavy silence fell over the crowd. Chioma's father sighed and walked into his hut. When he returned, he held a small bundle, Emeka's bride price, untouched. "Take it," he said firmly. "A marriage without love is not a marriage at all." Emeka's face darkened, his hands tightening into fists. But he had no choice. He snatched the bundle, glared at Chioma one last time, and rode away. The villagers whispered, but Chioma felt something deep in her heart: freedom. As the days passed, Chioma embraced her new life. She found herself thinking about Nnadi more often, remembering his quiet patience, his unwavering respect. He did not push, nor did he expect anything from her. One evening, as the moon shone above them, Chioma and Nnadi walked together near the river. "I have nothing to offer but my love and my hard work," he said. Chioma smiled. "And that is more than enough." This time, when Nnadi asked for her hand, she said yes, not out of desperation, but out of love. For Chioma had finally learned, true happiness is not found in gold, but in love, respect, and the freedom to choose one's own path. Chioma and Nnadi's wedding was nothing like her first. There were no grand feasts, no gold ornaments, and no visitors from faraway lands. Instead, it was a small gathering of family, friends, and kind-hearted villagers who had stood by her. Chioma wore a simple but beautiful wrapper, her hair adorned with delicate beads. She did not sit on a golden throne, nor did she wear heavy jewelry. But as she stood beside Nnadi, holding his hand, she felt richer than she ever had before. Her father's voice was full of emotion as he gave her away. "Chioma, my child, may your new home be filled with love, laughter, and understanding." And for the first time, Chioma knew this blessing was far more valuable than any wealth. As they exchanged vows under the shade of a tall tree, Nnadi looked into her eyes. "I promise to respect you, to cherish you, and to stand by you, not because I own you, but because I love you." Tears filled Chioma's eyes. She had once believed love was just a word. Now, she knew it was an action, a daily choice, a kindness, a patience that never faded. When the ceremony ended, there was no extravagant feast, only a humble meal shared with the people who mattered most. And yet, as laughter filled the air, Chioma felt it in her bones. This was true happiness. Life with Nnadi was simple but full of warmth. She woke up every morning to the gentle sound of his voice, not the silence of a cold, empty house. She worked beside him in the weaving shop, learning the craft she had once ignored. Every thread is woven with patience, he told her. Just like love. And he proved it every day. When she was tired, he helped her. When she was sad, he listened. When she made mistakes, he forgave. There were no servants to cook for them, yet every meal they shared tasted sweeter than any feast she had eaten in Emeka's house. One day, as she prepared yam porridge, Nnadi watched her with a smile. "What is it?" she asked. He chuckled. "I was just thinking, when I first asked for your hand, you wouldn't have stepped into a kitchen." Chioma laughed. "And yet, look at me now." She had once thought cooking, weaving, and working in the market were signs of a small life. Now, she understood, they were the heartbeat of a home. Years passed, and Chioma and Nnadi's love only grew. There were struggles, of course. Some days were hard, money was sometimes scarce, and life was never perfect. But they faced everything together, and in the end, that was what mattered. One evening, as they sat outside their hut, watching the sun set over the village, Chioma leaned her head on Nnadi's shoulder. "I used to dream of a grand house," she murmured. Nnadi kissed her forehead. "And now?" She smiled, looking at their small but happy home, at the children playing nearby, at the love that surrounded her. "Now, I know, I have everything I ever needed." Chioma had found her true happiness. Not in gold, not in admiration, but in a love that stood the test of time. And this, she knew, was the greatest treasure of all. Chioma chose freedom, love, and a simple life over gold. But what about you? If you had to make that choice, what would you do? Every story carries a lesson, but the meaning is often personal. What did this story teach you? Have you ever faced a choice between love and comfort, or freedom and tradition? Share your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one, and your voice matters here. I hope you enjoyed the story and thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more.